working with the local church to take the hope of Christ to every student in the United States. This is First Priority. Now, here are your hosts, Steve Chirico and Brad Skelling.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the First Priority Podcast. We are glad that you're here with us today because we have an amazing show with our amazing new friends. So, Steve, welcome to the show.
Is that your word for the day, Brad? Is amazing going to be the word today?
Amazing show,
day.
amazing people. It's amazing.
I'm going to timestamp this and say it is draft day for the future Super Bowl champion Las Vegas Raiders. We'll just leave
He
it there.
brings on the Kansas City team to talk
And
about
I do
the
have the
Raiders.
Kansas City team. And I did think about that. I was like, George and I were talking this morning. It is, draft day. He's excited about the Tennessee Volunteers getting drafted today. There's 4 big ones online. But then I'm like, you know what? That's perfect. God ordained things happen all the time. So wear the Raiders guard with the Kansas City team. So welcome. And speaking of, welcome Logan and Kristi to First Priority.
Yes, welcome to the team.
That is the team we're talking about today, the
Yes.
First Priority team.
Let's go.
Way more important, yes. Thanks, Logan, for wearing the garb.
Somebody's got to rep,
Yeah, we've been around it so long, it's everything but.
Yes. Well, first, Steve, you got anything to say? Any updates we need to make?
I do not. It's good to be back in the studio with everybody. Gosh.
It's been a bit.
Thank you, Tayana, for returning and getting us moving. Good job.
Correct. Yes. It's been a big quarter for First Priority nationally, not just in the support center. The support center, we hired a bunch of people. So we're going to bring a bunch of people through and introduce you to the podcast, to the podcast audience. And there's just a ton of things happening. End of school year. We'll catch you up on one of the next podcasts because there's a lot to talk about. But
and our first of 2 guests today, Logan. I feel like we trained Logan about a year and a half ago, even though he's only been on staff for about 6 weeks. It's been awesome.
Yes.
So it has been wild. Well, let's get in, Brad. Talk to us about who we got on the podcast.
Yeah, Logan Miller, you're the director, First Priority Kansas City. Kristi Olson, you're a coordinator in First Priority Kansas City.
You did not know what you agreed to.
In case you did not know that. So Logan, introduce yourself. Tell us who you are. Tell us about family. Tell us what's going on.
Sure. Happy to. So, my name's Logan Miller, and I actually live in Kansas City, Belton specifically, and grew up around here. My wife and I, quick tidbit about us, we're 3 weeks apart. She's 3 weeks my elder. And we were like our church bulletin, we were like our moms were pregnant at the same time in the same church. And the bulletin has 2 people born in December, and it's just us. And then I just found my baby book like 5 years ago. Obviously, we've been married. I think we've been married for like 12 years now. And found my baby book, and it said it had 1 person playmates, and it was my wife. That's Samantha Sykes. And so, anyways, our story is we grew up in church together and went to youth group together, dated for about 4 years, broke off for about a year in college, and then got back together, got married. So our stories have just been interwoven together. We have 3 kids, born and raised Kansas City, but did youth ministry for 2 years in Columbia, Missouri, 4 years in Salt Lake City, Utah. And about the last 7 years or so, been back here in Kansas City and doing like things I never thought I'd be doing, sales, marketing. For the longest time, I only wanted to be a great pastor, a great leader in the church. And in God's good pleasure, that didn't happen the last number of years. And so it's just been holding life with open hands and stepping into whatever is in front of me, and God's blessed it. So full circle, I come into this role, and the job description said like at least ideal candidate. I think that's the language, like 5 years youth ministry experience, 5 years sales experience, and some other leadership components. And I was like, wait a minute, that's kind of like my life story right there in the last, 10, 12 years. So anyways, it's just been really cool. It's been exciting. Got 3, I think I said we have 3 kids, a baby that's 8 months old. and then a 9-year-old, or she's going to turn 9 this week, and a 6-year-old Hallie gal. She's the girl in the middle. So life's good. I'm excited to serve God, to serve the people of these schools, and really to do this with Kristi and to do this with Jenna. I'm pumped. So it's amazing, to use the word today. It's amazing. I'm pumped.
Yeah, that's awesome. And for anybody watching on YouTube, you can see that Logan needs to come decorate for me, because that is an amazing wall and studio you have there in your house.
If my wife could do interior design, which maybe she will when she's out of the just stay-at-home mom phase, but yeah, she crushes it. Anything you see, it's not me, it's her. So
Nice. Nice. Well, Kristi, welcome.
Yes. So thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah.
So my name's Kristi. I was born and raised also in Kansas City. Diehard Chiefs fan. Sorry, that always
Let's go.
will always be a Chiefs fan. My husband converted him to a Chiefs fan. So born and raised right here in Kansas City. I went to Lee Summit School District, and then I went to Central Methodist University. I have my degree and I have a Bachelor of Science with a minor in theology. And then I thought I was going to be an athletic trainer for a really long time. So I went and worked at a grad school and did athletic training there. And then I decided I did not want to work 90 hours a week and I wanted to have a family one day.
Mm-hmm.
And while I was there, I met my husband, and he's from North Carolina. And we have been married for 17 years. And we have 4 amazing girls. We are a girl family. So our oldest is Olivia. She's 14. And then I have Caroline, who is 12, Victoria, who is 11, and Hazel, who is 8. And we live on our little slice of heaven out here in Pleasant Hill. We're right outside Kansas City. We live on 5 acres. I was a farm kid growing up, and so to have our own little piece of land is the best thing ever. We have chickens and goats and alpacas and donkeys, and we got a cow, and so we have all of the things. We love it.
Can you have one cow? Are you allowed to have one?
We just have one, yes. His name's Houdini, and he like runs to you full speed when you call his name.
Is this a cow that plays with one of those big air inflated balls and like kicks it back over or throws it to you?
No,
Like,
he does not do that. But my goats do. We do have one of those in our pasture, and our goats do play with one of those.
Brad, are you sure that you want training next week? I'm not sure we're ready.
I think training is happening on 5 acres in Kansas City is what I'm.
Exactly.
There we go.
We just changed locations.
You guys will become the cattle that she's herding.
Mm-hmm.
So I first heard about First Priority actually through Jenna. My daughter started the club here in our local school in the middle school. And when she was in 7th grade, and it's been absolutely amazing to watch that club grow and prosper. And then just watching how not only her life's been changed, but the lives of her friends and those that she surrounds herself with is absolutely phenomenal. Just like the community that First Priority forms for those kids that are Christians and like-minded, and being able to speak freely in their school and going to make disciples. It's been absolutely phenomenal to watch that transformation happen.
Love it. Giving us your why.
Yep, that's my why. But I also served in a local church here for the last 7 years as a kids pastor.
I was going to make that comment. You said you didn't want to work 90 hours a week as a physical therapist, and then you went and became a pastor at a church. So, yeah. Yep. Nice job.
A little bit different. It was God's calling, though. So, like, when God puts that calling on your life, and you never, I didn't think I would be a kids pastor, but God was like, no, like, you're going to do this. And then, like, 3 weeks later, I was actually offered the job. Like, I had no intention of even applying. I was just like, they were just like, Kristi, this is you. So I was like, oh, okay, that's yes. Cool. I felt the calling, and then 3 weeks later, God placed it in my lap. So.
Yep. Love it.
We look at Kristi's working genius. We will say, not scared of work,
Mm-hmm.
not scared to do hard things. Incredible.
It's true.
That's right. Well, Logan, you kind of dipped into your why first priority a little bit. I don't know what direction you want to take that, but it wasn't just because, 5 years sales experience, 5 years youth ministry experience, right? There's some more layers beyond that.
Yeah, for me too. I always tell a story. In fact, we just had our end of the year event. I told this story because to me it's been super meaningful. Just that similar to what Kristi was just saying, like how often God just does things by way of invitation. Because I was a youth pastor across the street from the largest high school in Missouri for 2 years, and I mean, like the church and the parsonage, that little house that my wife to this day is like, I never want to go back in that little house, but it was across the street from the biggest school, and like I could throw a rock at that thing. The high school games would happen across the street, and it'd just be so loud, blaring into our little house, but I could never like get into the school, and just being like, it was so frustrating. It's just like you stare at what feels like the mission field and you're like, I can't do anything. And this is just like torture. Um, Anyways, so like long story short, I go to another youth ministry, wasn't able to get in schools and just kind of like stuck. And then all of it, yet still feeling like that was what we were supposed to do. That's what God had called me to do. And now I'm ushered into schools every day to go into the belly of the beast. If I don't, that's a bad phrase, but anyways, I just get to go right in, and it's like it's hilarious to me that I was praying and asking and contending for something, and now it's just there. So a bit of my why is just that God put this in my heart a long time ago, and it's been cool to like just entrust that to him. And then years later, he's returned that. And really, without me really, it's been now that I'm thinking about those things and being like, wait a minute, I was praying about this. And God's, divine way has allowed this all to happen. So it's just been really cool. I just feel like it's been God writing the story.
I think that's one of the most encouraging aspects of faith. When I hear your story and going through the 5 years of sales and marketing, you're kind of like, what am I
doing?
God, yeah, what am I doing? What's happening? But then when it all of a sudden falls into place and you see that, it's like, okay, yeah. And God just brings it all back.
And the crazy part was I wanted to be a great pastor and leader there. And not to say I was a bad pastor. It's just, I don't know what metrics you want to use to say that someone's great or successful, but I don't know. It wasn't all. But then I go into the sales and marketing, and how do I say, like, I wanted to be good at what I did, but I just was like, I don't know. I could never cared about that stuff. And that fact that God blessed it, and my team grew, and all these things happened. It was always this weird thing. I'm like, I didn't really care about this, and my heart was always over here. So now it's kind of like both worlds get to merge a little bit, and it's just cool how God does what He does.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And we don't always have to understand in the moment.
Nope. Oh gosh, if I did, I'd be hosed.
Right. Oh, it's awesome. So tell us what's going on. You mentioned the celebration last night. Tell us what's going on in First Priority Kansas City. Give us some highlights. We'll ask for some lowlights too eventually, but give us the highlights.
Okay, well, right now, we just had our end of the year celebration, and honestly, it was so I came on 6 weeks ago, and being told at that time, hey, we have this end of the year event, and Kristi wasn't on yet. And Kristi, you just came on. Is it 3 weeks now? 4?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly. So
April 1st.
It's just been so it was like we're just hodgepodge together. Jenna has been the steady runner for us here in Kansas City and starting new clubs. And she said from the gate, I don't like doing events. So I'm like, okay. So I couldn't wait for Kristi to come on because she had said she did like doing events. So it was just really cool to have a moment that kind of forced us quickly to start running together. And we had, Kristi, was it 220 something people attend? 221 people attend. So it's really cool. The stories and the highlights. For me, I'm walking away with, Jenna told me after the event that there was a 5th grader who showed up and told her, I was so intimidated and scared about the idea of ever being in First Priority when I'm able to, and now I can't wait, and I want to lead one. So just stuff like that, they got to hear the testimonies. I talked to some of our donors who were able to attend, and they were just like, in fact, one of them who, many of you guys might know Dustin, who's spearheaded here in Kansas City. He was like, I wish every donor could have been here to hear the stories and to see the testimonies of those who are doing this thing. So and it's, Kristi and I are new too. So Kristi, I won't speak for you, but for me, it was really good and important that I was hearing a lot of what I was hearing and experiencing. So I don't want to act like we've got it all together. Like there's so much every day that I'm learning. From a logistics standpoint, I found out that we were in a school I didn't know we were in the other. I'm like, so anyway, it's still kind of a lot. Um, but
Yeah,
it's
welcome to
going
first
great and
priority on that one.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, it
So,
bleeds. It bleeds. It bleeds all
oh my
over the place,
gosh.
and kids take it and run with it.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, that's what I'm excited about. And, we're going to hopefully be in new territories. Kristi's now coming over one of our counties, Jenna was able to get rid of about 5 school or hand off 5 schools. Uh, get these schools away from me. And so
Yeah.
she's going to oversee those, but she already has connections and plans to be in about a few other schools. Kristi, you want to talk about any of that?
Yeah, so the end of the year celebration was amazing. Like Logan said, like watching the kids' testimony videos, the kids' worship team was the teen worship team was absolutely phenomenal. They'd never practiced one time before. I don't even know how many were on stage. 8 of them, maybe.
Yeah, 8 or
Is
9,
that
and
right?
most of
And
them
they
from
did
different schools, different
phenomenal for
churches.
like different schools, different churches all came together to worship together, which I thought was absolutely phenomenal. It was a really, really great night. Like I feel like kids and parents together left like excited about the future. First priority in Kansas City. I even had one of the students from Harrison Mills. She stopped me this morning and she was like, oh, "It was so good. Like that was so fun. It was just a fun night." And I mean, she had to drive 45 minutes to get there. She's like, "It was just a fun, exciting night." So it was amazing to watch the testimony videos that one of our students also made. So kids were all over every single aspect of everything that we did that night, which was absolutely
Mhm.
amazing. But it was an amazing event. It was an amazing event. But shifting gears to next year, our goal of like Cass County, my goal is to be in at least 5 or 6 more schools next year. Already trying to I'm already working on making connections for teachers and principals so they know that this is coming, that this can be on their radar, so they will be more acceptance to this. So I'm really excited about what First Priority is going to do in Cass County.
Yeah, Kristi's one of those people. It's like she's inviting people to catch up to where she already is. She's like, I'm actually already in your school. You just don't know it.
Hmm.
I'm just waiting for them to come along.
Well, from a marketing perspective, that's a great way to get, people want to be a part of something that's great, right? And
Yeah.
you put it up that way. That's a great way to invite people in. Yeah, I love it.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Logan, you mentioned that not everything was a highlight. So let's talk about some of the things that you guys are working through right now. What are some of the things post celebration that you guys are working through IDSs that maybe even on your list?
Yeah. So currently, I think we just have a little bit of a momentum issue. New people coming on board. Stephen Summit, who's served faithfully, is stepping away into an awesome church here locally. And again, I'm going to be at his house in the next hour and a half. So, like, really good things. But nonetheless, it's been Jenna as a stable force here. So now it's like, okay, we got to build our donor base. A lot of
Uh-huh.
Kansas City's donor base has been a lot of big one-time gifts. And don't get me wrong,
Uh-huh.
that's wildly exciting and fun. But from a sustainability model, I think that's our biggest issue. That's the word I keep using with our team: sustainability and growth. So I think we have some sustainability issues, not just in the area of funding, but even just our not very well built out processes and systems. We
Uh-huh.
just recently had a SWOT analysis, and we have a lot of, when we did the strengths and weaknesses, our weaknesses area in sustainability was quite long. But
Yes.
again, it's cool to have a team with Jen and Kristi who are like, and I've told them this privately, and saying it here publicly, is just, it's cool to have a team that's not scared of that stuff. And like, hey, let's just one bite at a time. We'll get after this thing. But yeah, we have some sustainability things, some documents that we need, standard operating procedures that we got to figure out for
Yep.
What do we do in the case of, someone fills out a form, and how are we going to get supplies to them? Like, what's that? We have a small team now, but as we want to grow this thing, we need just to have what's our standard way of operating for so many different things. So that's a long answer to sustainability is one of our big issues right now.
No, I appreciate you pinpointing it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Kristi, you're super duper new to it, but what are you seeing above and beyond that? What are some things you're like, ooh, with my background, here's some areas of growth that we need?
Well, I am also a systems person, so I'm like, we need to have all the systems in place, which Logan is like, yes, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So I'm like, if there's not a system for it, we need to build a system for it. So that's our like main,
SIPs.
yes, that's our main
Yeah.
goal in Kansas City, is to not have 75 spreadsheets of all like where everybody's at. Google Forms, we don't want that. We want to use Virtuous for absolutely everything. So I'm spearheading. Yep.
My favorite
I'm
person on staff at the moment right here.
I'm
Yes.
spearheading that in Kansas City. I so I was like, we need one place, one home for absolutely everything, so we know we have all of our contacts in the exact same spot, and we don't have to go. Logan's favorite thing is the drive, so we don't have to go search for all the things in the drive and where it's at, and unless we know the name of it, we're not going to be able to find it.
Yeah.
So,
And again, Christy's she's self-described. I'm not putting words in it. She's like, I'm an envelope pusher. And I was like, well, let's push the envelope on all these things. So if anybody ever, if anybody from the national office ever experiences this, it's just in her nature. And I'm like, hey, right now we're at a place and a time where we need an envelope pusher and envelope pushers. So I'm appreciative to have that here in Kansas City.
Correct.
well, not all envelope pushers are system people. So to have both those giftings is going to be super helpful as that team builds sustainability. Right. You just named the two things we need in order to solve the issue that Logan brought up. So that's great. Logan, Kristi, so super grateful for the conversation today. You've opened the window and let us see into your world in a number of ways, and Brad and I are super grateful.
Yes.
As you look into the windshield of next school year, which every director is doing right now, right? Trying to get all of those things in place so next school year is even better than this one. What do you see ahead of you? What's in front of you?
Christy, why don't you go first on this one? And I don't mind following up with that one.
I just think launching healthy clubs in the fall, like that's my goal, is for all the clubs to have a club coach if available. In the middle schools are really hard here. So like they don't like to have extra people in the middle school. So if we can get a club coach in those middle schools, that would be super, super helpful for those middle school kids. And just really launching successful clubs that are going to, in coaches that are going to be sustainable through the whole entire school year. I know through the end of the year, you have that lag and lull at the end of the school year, like we're experiencing right now. We only have we have like 3 weeks left of school. So kids are like checked out already. Right. But I want to launch successful clubs next year, because I know from my own child's experience, I know that lives can be changed and altered. So that's my goal, is just to launch really strong, successful clubs next year with strong student leaders.
Love
Absolutely.
it. Yeah.
And I would echo that 100 times. I think with that comes our training. We really want to figure out in our training, and in that training, really identify what I would like for all clubs to have is a pathway to grow. And I think right now clubs, like there's sometimes I feel like they're a little stuck, and I'd love to have something for them that kind of talks about a good, better, best of like, hey, any club any club that has students and a coach and anybody that's willing to show up and declare the gospel, and that's a great, that's a good club. But like, what's your pathway to being a better and the best club possible? And what are the components of that? Because we're seeing that happen in other schools, and I don't want them to look at that school and compare themselves. I just want them to have a pathway to say, hey, cool, there's something we can I have a sports background, and I love the idea of being able to show up and get 1% better every day. So training, I think, becomes a part of that. I want, by the start of next school year, in an ideal world, we have funding taken care of. We have $150,000 in the bank, and we can hire 2 part-timers, because right now Jenna's currently at capacity at 24 schools, and her and Kristi, to some measure, I look as almost like church planners. I don't think they actually fit the mold of an area coordinator quite like the ones that we're probably going to need to bring on to follow them. So like to find 2 part-time people, have great training, a healthy process for them to go throughout the year, and build up our coach base as well. So there's a lot on the docket. Plenty of meat on the bone to go get after.
That's right.
Great.
That's right. I love it. Well, I'm super excited for the 3 of you and the growing team in Kansas City, not just staff team, but the volunteer base, the 221 in the room, but the 700 others that weren't in the room, last night. And just the movement is growing. And yeah, I'm super excited to have the 2 of you on to help lead that charge. So thank you both for answering this call and just being a part of this movement. So appreciate it.
Absolutely. And I'll just end with,
Thank you.
As of this year, 72 decisions for Christ, I think 152 rededications, and over 300 people getting trained this year. So Kansas City's doing the things. And we, cool part, Kristi and I, it's like we really can't speak for any of that. We're just championing the good news. And now we just get to join on board and hopefully just see that train just keep running.
Yep. Well, and to me, that's always the best part of First Priority. We talk about traction and level 10 meetings and all the systems and structures. But even in the midst of staff transitions, students were still sharing the gospel with their friends in school, right? We're here not to control. We're here to encourage, equip, and empower these kids to be light in a dark place and bring light to dark souls that want Jesus. They just never heard about him, right? So let's keep up the good work where God opens the doors. So cool.
Well, thank you, Brad. Thank you, Steve, for letting us come on.
Thank you so much.
It's been great.
Yeah. And thanks to everybody who's listened to this to the end. We appreciate you and who you are, where you are, and being part of this greater First Priority movement. If you haven't been on the podcast before, email me, brad@fpofamerica.com. Would love to have you on the podcast and hear your story and what God's doing in your community through these students. So have a great day, everybody. And until next time, we'll talk again.
Doodles. Go Chiefs.